The Doing Good model and Essence of Life Radio present GoodTalk, one-on-one conversations with leaders and various experts on the question of whether doing good is good business. And today, we have the pleasure and privilege of hosting Shari Arison, the visionary businesswoman and philanthropist who founded the Doing Good model. Shari Arison is a philanthropist and a businesswoman who for the last 3 decades has been leading the Arison Group with the belief that every organization should bring added value to people, the community, and the environment. Shari started creating the Doing Good model in 1997 when she defined a distinct values-based vision for each of the Arison Group's business companies and philanthropic organizations that operate in diverse fields. Together with Arison Group CEOs, chairmen, and an academic team from some of the world's leading universities, including Harvard, Thunderbird, Babson College, and George Mason University, the Doing Good model was finalized. The model was implemented within the Arison Group and has continued to develop beyond, extending the ripples of impact worldwide. For over 3 decades, Shari Arison has proven that organizations driven by meaning, who give their employees a sense of value and care for the environment, are business-thriving organizations.
Hi, Shari.
Hi, friend.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited. Can you tell us in your own words, who are you?
That's a big question.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's funny. We have so many different hats. I would say on a soul level,
Right.
I'm a soul in a human body coming to make a difference in the world. On a material level, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a philanthropist, I'm spiritual, I write books. There's so many facets of who I am. It's a question that could be talked about for each individual for hours.
You wrote a book about it
Yes,
recently.
I did. Who am I really?
Yeah.
It's a conversation. I wrote the book with Nurit Eldar, and it's really a conversation between 2 women about who am I really? And it's getting to the core, to the essence, because we have so many titles and we attach to ourselves so many different facets. But who am I really inside myself at the core level, at the essence level?
Okay.
So it's an interesting journey.
Yeah. So for our listeners who are individuals, managers, employees, leaders, what would you advise for them? How can they start this journey of the question, who am I?
I think, first of all, when you talk about business or organizations, it's connecting to your passion, to your true essence, to your true belief of who you are and who you want to be in the world. I think so many of us, go to work, or whether it's school or work or at home, and we go through the motion of what we were taught to be or what is expected of ourselves. And I would suggest that each one of us connect to their own essence and their own passion. And I think we each have our own unique perspective and our own unique that something special, that essence, that color, that design of who we are and what we bring to the world. And together it makes a magnificent puzzle. Really, when you connect to your passion, it becomes very, and to your true desire, your true want. And I'm not talking about outside,
Yeah.
I want a relationship, or I want a house, or I want a car. I'm talking about what you truly want to bring into this world, who you want to be
Within yourself.
within yourself, and connection to wherever you are, in connection with your job, in connection to your mission in life, your purpose in life. And when you connect to that purpose, I think everything else becomes very clear and falls into place.
And more simple.
Yes.
All right.
I've always felt that business, just like anything else, is a vehicle to create change in the world. And I think that each individual business has its core purpose. So, when I was in banking, for instance, I said, what can the banking world bring to society? And really, it can bring tools and education for financial learning, so that people have the education and they can make the right choices in order to grow and empower themselves, whether it's in their own lives, in their personal lives, or in their businesses. And that's something that financial institutions can bring as their core purpose. If it's a real estate and infrastructure company, you can bring sustainable practices and green building. So I really think that in any field in business or any organization, you have that core purpose of what you are doing. And if you think about it as bringing added value to people, to planet, to the environment, to society at large, it creates the change. And I think everyone prospers in the end result.
So it starts with the belief.
Yes.
And then goes to the being and doing, just like you developed the Doing Good model.
Well, I think in the Doing Good model, we have the different aspects of believing, doing, and being. And each person is built differently. Each organization, each structure is built differently. So I think each one needs to look at what they're best at and what drives them and what their purpose is, and go from there. Because for me, it might be from being or believing, and from someone else, it might start from doing and gradually get to the belief and the being. It's like you can go into a room from different doors, so you can come into the model or into your purpose from a different aspect, each one from their own perspective.
Okay, but in the long run, the purpose or the goal is to reduce the gap between believing, being, and doing, in your opinion?
For me, it is, because I think, my mission has always been to create the changes within myself. And I do that by believing and by being, by resonating who I am. But in order for that to manifest into a business and grow into the different circles of life, it's a matter of doing. So you have to take that belief and you have to take that being and put it into action, and then manifest it into the doing aspect.
Shari, when did you first realize that you have a special mission in this world?
Oh, probably when I was 3.
Really?
I think even as a child, I would look at the world and I always felt like I had this unique perspective. I couldn't understand why even children at school didn't get along, why there were different groups,
Wow.
and you had to belong to a certain group. And I belonged everywhere and nowhere at the same time, because I always believe that each one has something unique. Each group has something unique. Each person has something unique. And I think, if you look at it in that way, it becomes really beautiful. Instead of looking at it as separate, you look at it as different aspects, or, different sounds, different colors, different vibration. So I from a very young age, I felt that I had some sort of a mission. And as I grew older, it became more and more clear to me. And when I got into business and philanthropy, I realized that I can bring to no matter what business it is or what organization it is, added value to the people that work in the businesses and organizations, whether it's a management team or whether it's each individual employee, or whether it's, all the circles, within, clients, advisors,
all
stakeholders in ever growing, circles are touched by this. And I think people, when you touch them with values and with purpose, people connect.
Yeah.
I think everybody's looking for purpose and values in their lives.
Do you remember something special, one experience from your childhood that, resonate this energy?
I have many. I really don't want to get into my childhood, but I have many. I think the main issue was the disconnect, like I said, between the different groups of people and the judgment that each group had on another group or each individual on another individual. And I think that when you connect people around, like we connect people through doing good, and you don't tell them how to connect, you let each one connect with their own individual, their own spirit, their own view. And I think that's why, for instance, Good Deeds Day took off so big and so well, because the whole idea is that everyone can do good, and each one in their own way, and each one according to their heart's desire. It's the same thing in business. If you have people connect to their own values and then the values of the organization, and let them bring their own creativity into it, you have something amazing, rather than saying it's my way, my way or the highway. No, there's so many different ways, so many different colors, so many different aspects. And if you can connect everyone to that purpose and to those value-driven aspects of how you can make a difference. I have found that in every organization and every business that I've dealt with, everyone in the end connects. Some faster, some slower, but in the end, everyone connects.
Yeah, I think more and more CEOs and senior managers feel these days how vision and values, organizational values are the essence and the backbone of every organization, and when they have it, they can take it to many different ways of execution.
That's very true, but it's very important for CEOs to understand that every individual in the organization or in the business has their own individual values, and somehow we all need to connect the individual values with the values of the organization, because a lot of times a business will have, they'll have a mission statement, they'll have a purpose, and it'll be a plaque on the wall, and you can see that the employees are just going through the motions. They're not really connected. But if you help, bring out their own values, their own creativity, their own purpose and passion, and connect that to the purpose and passion and mission and vision of the organization, of the business, you find that it's a win-win all around.
How does your sense of mission affect your day-to-day activities?
My mission is my day-to-day activities. I've at a very young age, and every year it just gets stronger and stronger. Every day it gets stronger and stronger. Is that I believe that I'm here for a reason. I believe that we're all here for a reason. And we're here really to create and help the evolutionary process, and to do good in the world. And that's a choice. That's an individual choice. We all see what's going on in the world, and we are all part of the larger picture. And if we all choose, I always say, to think good, speak good, and do good, our world will look so differently and so much better, and so much happier and healthier for all of us. And so we each have a part to play. And so I get up in the morning, I'm thankful every day, and I play my part. And so my mission is my day-to-day.
Can you please give us some examples of activities in Arison Group, outside of Arison Group, that resonate that?
I think inside the Arison Group, everything that we do connects to that. So, we're sitting here at Essence of Life, and really Essence of Life is here to give tools and create awareness for inner peace. And in order to reach world peace, we each need to reach our own individual peace. The Doing Good model, you're going to be doing the podcast, and when you work on it every day, gives value-based, I'd say a compass to people and organizations on how to do good in their businesses, in their organizations, and how to connect the business and implement values. Arison Investments, we invest in businesses all around the world in funds and that really give added value to humanity. and to the environment. So, we have the foundation, the Ted Arison Foundation, that really gives and makes impact on a philanthropic level. So everything we do in the organization, there's Ruach Tovah, which is an organization for volunteering, and they're the organization that also operates Good Deeds Day in Israel and around the world. So really everything we do at the Arison Group is purpose and value led. In my own life, I think I've gone from doing 24 hours, 7 days a week, doing, more and more to being. Mm-hmm. And I think that role for me today has changed. And it's really to just resonate light and love. Mm-hmm. And I think that's my main purpose these days.
When did it change from doing to being, and why?
I think it's something that was building up in me for quite a while. Mm-hmm. I had sold all my operational businesses and decided to invest in a way that will have impact, but not not be an owner, mm-hmm. Rather than investing in things that gives me the freedom to make a difference, but not have it on my shoulders. So that was something that was a decision I made years ago.
That's a big
one. And that was a very big decision. But I think after that, the coronavirus, COVID, really, it made the difference where I was already ready for that change. Mm-hmm. But being home so much, in quarantine and lockdown, and it really created what I was wanting for a really long time.
Oh, wow. Thank you, COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish everybody would be healthy and safe.
Yeah.
But for me, it gave me the time to sit and realize that it's not so much running around out there. Mm-hmm. It's what I am in here. And it's something that I always knew, but this forced me to really have that quiet time to realize that I can really make a huge difference just by being quiet. And I don't know how many people will understand that. I hope people will. But it's really what we all resonate. I think, when our purpose is love and light and making a difference in the world and having goodness grow in the world, people can feel that. And when they feel that, they want to be part of it. And so that grows. And I think that's the way for the light to grow in the world. And I do want to say, though, because, so many people, look outside and what's going on in the world, and it's not easy, and there's mm-hmm. a lot of hardship, and there's a lot of suffering. And I don't think we can close our eyes to what's happening in the world, right. But in the end, it's a choice. Mm-hmm. It's a choice where we put our focus and what we want to grow. And so we can put our, focus on everything that's hard and horrible in the world, or we could put our focus on everything that's good and grow it from there. And so that's a choice we have to make. And that's a choice that we can make, like I said, in our homes, in our businesses, in our organizations. Mm-hmm. It starts from the individual, but then we go outward into everything that we touch.
Many managers are still very skeptic, and we hear many cynicism. So what would you say to managers, wherever they are, in any industry, country, about how doing good drives business prosperity?
I have to tell you that I had public companies that I was the main shareholder, and private companies, and I always heard the same thing. Oh, sustainability, you're not going to make money. Doing good, you're not going to make money. Giving so much back to the community, you're not going to make money. And I always said that, when you do good, good comes back to you. It's like any energy that you put out is going to come back to you. And I've proven that we made more money by doing things right, by doing things in a way that helps people and helps the planet and helps society. And I truly believe that when you do good, it comes back to you. You know, again, I always say this, you know, people are like, oh, you know, got to make money, or what about profit share? And I say, you know, if there's no planet Earth, no money in the world's going to matter.
Right.
You know, it's like we're all playing a part, and we, you know, we need to take care of our resources. We need to take care of our people. You know, live healthy, loving, happy, prosperous lives. And we can only do that if we have an air to breathe and water to drink and food to eat, and, you know, and care about our environment.
Go to basis.
You know, and people tend to like not think about that, and, you know, only think about the bottom line.
Yeah.
The bottom line is not only money. There are many different bottom lines, and you need to look at all the different bottom lines, and they're all important. I'm not saying not make, you know, you're a business, you want to make money, that's fine.
Yeah.
Businesses should make money, but there are other bottom lines as well that need to be looked at.
Well, what is your vision for impacting the world through the Doing Good model, and what would you consider as a success? Because you founded the Doing Good model organization 5 years ago.
Yes. It's 5 years ago, but it's more like 25 years ago.
Yeah, but the organization.
The organization, the Doing Good
GM.
model, started 5 years ago. It was built step by step, stone by stone, for over 25 years ago, with the different visions of the different companies at the time and the different values, which we're now calling elements. So it's always been the same for me. I mean, everything that I do, including the Doing Good model, is making a difference so that more and more people get on board, more and more companies, more and more organizations get on board and make a difference in the world, because only together, no individual, I mean, people have the power to make a difference, but we need a critical mass of people to really make a difference in the world. And I think by giving the education and the tools to organizations to prosper on the one hand, which is what they want to do, and yet have it value-based and have it in a way that everyone prospers, the employees themselves, the company, all stakeholders, and the environment, in the end will create a huge change in the world. So for me, to success is to have more and more and more businesses and organizations on board. I would love to see it in the educational system, in the political system, really in all systems. I think the only way forward is to be a value-based society.
Do you see the change happening now?
Wow. There's a huge change.
All right.
A huge change. And, you know, it's funny, a lot of times change is so slow, although now change is being very rapid. But I would say 20 years ago it was going so slow that people take for granted the change that's happened and don't realize, they don't look back 20 years ago and see where we came from. I can tell you that 20 years ago, when I would talk about impact investing, and I would talk to all the major banks, all the major funds, you know, different family offices, no one, and I mean no one, knew what I was talking about. And when I came and started talking about sustainability in Israel, nobody understood what I was talking about when I was talking about, you know, water, having an abundance amount of water in the world, and creating MIA at the time in order to bring an abundance.
People thought that you're crazy.
Everybody thought I was crazy. Nobody understood what I was talking about. They didn't understand why I wouldn't invest in certain areas, and the areas that I wanted to invest, no banker understood what I wanted. Today, because I sold all the operational businesses and I invest, you know, with different partners, with different banks, funds, VCs, you know, in different vehicles, and I meet with people from all around the world. Not only do they know what I'm talking about, it's become a language that everyone understands, but today everybody goes according to the SDGs and the ESG, and some more than others. I have to say, some, you know, it's something written, but it's really not drill down. It's not there yet in many areas, but at least everyone understands.
Yeah.
That's changed majorly. Now, whether they really go deep and really implement, yes, there are those that do. I would love to see more.
Last question for you today is, an advice for every manager who want to start the change, whether if it's with himself, herself, or with his or her organization or corporate. What should they do to start taking this forward, the doing good DNA?
I would say connect to your intuition, have courage, and go with your beliefs, your truths. But I'm talking about pure truths from your essence, from your soul. If the truth is going to create conflict or separatism, that's not from the soul. So I would say really connect to your own soul, your own purpose, your own passion. Go with your intuition, go with your truth, and be courageous.
When you say it, it sounds very simple. We try to help organizations and managers and individuals to go there day by day, and we will continue doing that with passion, with love, with purity.
Yeah. It's a process. You have to understand it's a process. People might hear me and see me and go, "Oh, how are you so positive?" or "How are you smiling all the time?" I get that feedback all the time.
It's an important point.
Process,
Right.
and it's a daily choice. A daily choice.
Right. Shari, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your coming, and I
My
wish
pleasure.
everybody peace and love.
Me too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.